What if the realities you knew were only a part of a larger, more complex narrative? Today we begin a journey that traces the evolution of a political entity, Hamas, and its relations with Israel. We'll explore the birth of Hamas, its rise as a political entity, and the ensuing conflict with Israel. It's a story filled with intricate layers of history and politics tinged with the sorrow of conflict. So buckle up and prepare to delve into an intricate web of history, politics, and conflict. In the heart of the Middle East, amidst political turmoil, a new player emerged on the stage in 1987, Hamas. The birth of Hamas during the First Intifada marked a turning point in the region's history. This period of intense Palestinian uprising against Israeli occupation saw the emergence of a new force fueled by frustration and a deep desire for self-determination. Hamas was not born in a vacuum. Its ideological roots can be traced back to the Muslim Brotherhood, a transnational Sunni Islamist organization founded in Egypt in 1928. The Brotherhood's influence was profound, its teachings advocating for an Islamic state and society based on the principles of the Quran. From this ideological seed, Hamas grew, adopting a similar vision, but its goal was more specific, more localized. It sought to establish an Islamic state in the area that is now Israel, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip. For Hamas, the struggle was not just about land or borders, it was about identity, culture, and faith. The birth of Hamas was a reflection of the times, a response to the challenges faced by the Palestinian people. It was a manifestation of the desire for autonomy, for self-determination, and for a state that reflected their beliefs and values. Thus, Hamas was born, a child of conflict and a harbinger of further struggle. The stage was set for a new chapter in the turbulent history of the Middle East. The turbulent winds of the Intifadas blew, shaping the course of Hamas's journey. The First Intifada, a popular uprising against Israeli occupation in the late 80s, saw Hamas carving out its place in Palestinian society. Initially, Hamas was a purely militant group, but the First Intifada marked its transition into politics. Hamas's role in the First Intifada was instrumental. It organized strikes, protests, and boycotts, demonstrating its organizational prowess and commitment to the Palestinian cause. Its influence grew rapidly, and its popularity surged amongst Palestinians who felt marginalized and oppressed. Following the First Intifada, Hamas had to navigate the treacherous waters of politics. Its transition from a militant group to a political entity was not smooth, but it was necessary. It was during this time that Hamas started to run social programs, building schools, hospitals, and mosques. These actions endeared Hamas to the Palestinian people, who saw the group as more than just a military force, but as a protector and provider. Then came the Second Intifada in the early 2000s, a more violent and deadly uprising that further entrenched Hamas's place in Palestinian politics. The Second Intifada was characterized by a series of suicide bombings and attacks, many of which were carried out by Hamas. These actions, while condemned by the international community, only served to bolster Hamas's standing amongst Palestinians. In the aftermath of the Second Intifada, Hamas took a bold step into the political arena. In the 2006 Palestinian elections, Hamas secured a stunning victory, winning a majority of the seats in the Palestinian Legislative Council. This victory marked a significant turning point for Hamas. It was no longer just a militant group, but a powerful political entity. From the ashes of the Intifadas, Hamas emerged not just as a militant group, but a political force to be reckoned with. Its journey from the margins to the mainstream of Palestinian politics is a testament to its resilience and adaptability, but it's also a reminder of the volatile and complex nature of Middle Eastern politics. Against the backdrop of this political evolution, a storm was brewing, a storm of conflict with Israel. The genesis of the conflict between Hamas and Israel can be traced back to their fundamental ideological differences. Hamas, rooted in Islamic fundamentalism, had as its cornerstone the liberation of Palestine, including present-day Israel, a perspective that is in direct contrast with Israel's right to exist as a state. This ideological chasm was further exacerbated by a series of events, including Hamas's refusal to recognize Israel's existence and Israel's control over Gaza and the West Bank. The conflict was not just about land or borders, it was a struggle for identity, for existence. As the storm of conflict escalated, the world watched with bated breath. The impact of this conflict was not confined to the region. It reverberated across the globe, influencing international politics and shaping the narrative of the Middle East. The conflict between Hamas and Israel has often been seen as a microcosm of the larger Arab-Israeli conflict, a struggle that has defined the geopolitics of the region for decades. The world has seen waves of violence ebb and flow, punctuated by ceasefires and peace talks, only to be followed by renewed bouts of violence. The region has witnessed devastating wars, countless lives lost, and an enduring humanitarian crisis. Yet amidst this chaos, there have been glimmers of hope, moments that have shown the potential for peaceful coexistence. The conflict has also had significant implications for the international community. It has forced nations to take sides, shaping alliances and foreign policies. It has sparked debates on human rights, state sovereignty, and the right to self-determination. Caught in a relentless dance of conflict, Hamas and Israel continue their uneasy coexistence. The future remains uncertain, the path to peace elusive. But one thing is clear: the world will continue to watch, to hope, and to strive for a resolution that respects the rights and aspirations of all. So, where does this leave us today? We've journeyed through the birth of Hamas, a movement born out of tumultuous circumstances, deeply rooted in the socio-political landscape of the Middle East. We saw how it evolved from a mere militant group to a significant political entity, a transformation catalyzed by the intifadas. Throughout this evolution, the enduring conflict with Israel has been a constant thread, a narrative of struggle and confrontation that continues to shape the region's destiny. This conflict, steeped in decades of history, is not merely a battle over territory, but a clash of ideologies and identities. The story of Hamas and its conflict with Israel isn't just a tale of two adversaries, it's a reflection of the intricate web of history, politics, and power that governs our world. It's a testament to how deep-seated issues can simmer and eventually erupt, affecting millions of lives in the process. As we attempt to untangle this complex narrative, we realize the importance of understanding not just the surface, but the deep currents of history and politics that shape our world.